Have you ever looked at your cat and thought something just feels off today, like they're not quite themselves, but you can't put your finger on why? Or maybe you've noticed your cat hiding in places it never used to go, or just going quiet in a way that genuinely worries you. Hey folks, welcome back. If you're a cat owner, and I'm guessing you are, since you clicked on this, then this video might be one of the most important ones you ever watch. Because here's the thing, cats are masters at hiding how they feel. It's literally baked into their DNA. In the wild, showing weakness gets you killed. So your cat has spent its entire life pretending everything is fine, even when it absolutely isn't. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 12 critical signs that your cat's body might be shutting down, and honestly, some of these are going to surprise you. Stick around, because sign number 7 is one that almost every cat owner misses completely. Sign 1. Your cat has stopped eating or drinking, and we're not talking about being picky. Look, we all know cats can be a little diva about their food. One day they love tuna, the next they're looking at it like you've personally offended them. But there's a massive difference between a fussy cat and a cat that has genuinely lost interest in food and water altogether. When a cat stops eating for more than 24 to 48 hours, that's your body alarm going off. And when they stop drinking water, that's even more serious. Dehydration in cats can cause organ failure shockingly fast. We're talking within days. A dying cat's metabolism starts to slow down. Their body is basically saying, we're winding things down here. So if your cat is walking past the food bowl without even sniffing it, and their water dish is sitting completely untouched, don't wait on that one. That's your cue to ring the vet, no hesitation. Sign 2. Extreme lethargy, like more than your cat's usual I'm a cat energy. Now, we all joke about cats sleeping 16 hours a day. It's their thing, they're champions at it. But there is a version of feline tiredness that is not normal, and once you see it, you'll know. A cat that is approaching the end of its life will stop doing basically everything. They won't come to greet you at the door. They won't respond when you call their name. They'll just lie there, sometimes in the same spot for hours, barely lifting their head. It's different from laziness. There's a heaviness to it. Their eyes might be half open. They might not even react to sounds that would normally have them bolting across the room. This kind of deep, unresponsive lethargy is the body conserving whatever little energy it has left. It's quiet, it's still, and honestly, it's heartbreaking to watch. If your usually cheeky, playful cat has turned into a completely unresponsive lump for more than a day or two, please take that seriously. Sign 3. Sudden, dramatic weight loss, almost like they're disappearing in front of you. Here's something that creeps up on cat owners without them realizing. Because you see your cat every single day, gradual weight loss can fly completely under your radar. And cats are sneaky about this too. If they've got a fluffy coat, you might not notice until you actually pick them up and feel how light they've become. When a cat's organs begin to fail, particularly the kidneys, liver, or if there's cancer involved, the body starts breaking down muscle for energy. It's called cachexia, and it's brutal. Your cat might look the same from a distance, but when you hold them, it feels like you're holding a paper bag. Their spine and hip bones start to become visible. Their face looks gaunt. If you've noticed that your cat feels significantly lighter than they did even a month ago, weigh them. A loss of even 10% of their body weight is considered clinically significant. That's roughly half a pound on a 5-pound cat. Small number, big deal. Sign 4. They start hiding away, and I mean really hiding. Okay, this one is one of the most fascinating and honestly most gut-wrenching signs on this entire list. Cats, when they are sick or dying, instinctively seek out isolation. In the wild, a sick cat is a vulnerable cat, easy prey. So their survival brain kicks in and tells them, go somewhere quiet, go somewhere hidden, go somewhere no one can find you. Now, domesticated cats don't need to do this. They're safe at home, but the instinct is still hardwired in there. So what you'll see is a cat that starts tucking itself into the back of closets, under beds, behind furniture, in places it has literally never gone before. And they won't come out, even when you call them. If your cat has always been a social butterfly, always on the sofa with you, always following you to the kitchen, and suddenly it's vanishing for hours into some dark corner of the house, that shift in behavior is deeply significant. It's not sulking, it's not being dramatic. Their body is telling them to find somewhere quiet, and that deserves your full attention. Sign 5. Changes in breathing, labored, shallow, or just wrong. You probably never pay much attention to how your cat breathes. Why would you? It just happens. But when a cat is seriously ill or dying, their breathing can change in ways that are pretty unmistakable once you know what to look for. You might notice rapid, shallow breathing, almost like panting, which is really unusual for cats unless they're overheated. Or the opposite, very slow, labored breaths where you can see their whole chest and belly heaving with the effort. Some cats develop what's called Cheney-Stokes breathing near the very end, a pattern of breathing that speeds up, slows down, and sometimes stops briefly before starting again. You might also hear wheezing, crackling, or a gurgling sound. Any of these are red flags. Healthy cats breathe 20 to 30 times per minute at rest. If your cat is breathing much faster or slower than that, or if they're breathing through their mouth, something is seriously wrong and they need medical medical attention immediately. Sign 6. A really unpleasant odor coming from your cat's mouth or body. Alright, this one's a bit grim, but we've got to talk about it. When a cat's body is shutting down, particularly when the kidneys are failing, toxins start to build up in the bloodstream, and one of the ways this shows up is through smell. Specifically, you might notice that your cat's breath starts to smell like ammonia or urine. That's because the kidneys can no longer filter waste properly, so it starts coming out through other channels, including the lungs. It's called uremic breath, and it's a pretty significant indicator of end-stage kidney disease. Beyond that, a cat that is very ill may stop grooming themselves entirely, and a cat that isn't grooming starts to smell musty, matted, and generally just off in a way you'll notice even without getting close. Cats are obsessively clean creatures. If your smell's bad and looks unkempt, their body doesn't have the energy for self-care anymore. That's a telling sign. Sign 7. Changes in their eyes, and this is the one most people completely miss. Right, here we go. Sign number 7, the one I promised you at the start. The eyes. Your cat's eyes can tell you an enormous amount about their internal health, and most people just don't look closely enough. Here's what to watch for. First, dilated pupils that stay wide even in bright light. This can indicate neurological problems, severe pain, or a systemic crisis. Second, cloudy or glassy eyes, a kind of vacant, unfocused look, like the lights are on but nobody's home. Third, and this is the one people really miss, a third eyelid becoming visible. Cats have a third eyelid, called the nictitating membrane, that sits in the inner corner of their eye. Normally, you never see it, but when a cat is seriously ill, dehydrated, or in significant physical decline, it starts to show a pale, almost translucent membrane creeping across the corner of the eye. If you can see it, that's your cat's body waving a white flag. Combined with any of the other signs on this list, it's a very serious indicator that something is very, very wrong. Sign 8. Loss of coordination and balance, stumbling around like they can't get their bearings. A healthy cat moves with an almost ridiculous level of grace and precision. They jump, they land perfectly, they navigate the tiniest ledges like it's nothing. So when you start to see a cat that is stumbling, swaying, falling over, or struggling to walk in a straight line, that is not something to brush off. This kind of loss of coordination can point to a few different things: a brain tumor, a stroke, severe anemia causing oxygen deprivation to the brain, or the neurological effects of end-stage organ failure. Some cats will tilt their heads constantly to one side and walk in circles. Others will just seem deeply confused about where their paws are supposed to go. It looks distressing because, spoiler, it is. If your normally nimble cat suddenly looks like a baby deer trying to walk on ice, get them to a vet as fast as you can. That level of neurological disruption is not something that gets better on its own. Sign 9. Incontinence and loss of bladder or bowel control. This is another one that's hard to talk about but really important. As a cat's body weakens, particularly in the very final stages, they may lose the ability to control their bladder and bowels. You might find that they're urinating or defecating outside the litter box, not because they've developed a behavioral issue, but because they simply don't have the physical strength or awareness to make it there in time. In some cases, they may not even realize it's happening. A cat that has always been scrupulously clean suddenly having accidents around the house is often more of a physical breakdown than a behavioral one. Combined with the other signs on this list, it paints a pretty clear picture of a body that is losing its ability to regulate itself. It's uncomfortable to deal with, but your cat isn't doing it on purpose, and the compassionate response is to keep them clean, comfortable, and get them assessed by a professional. Sign 10. Temperature drops. Their body feels cold to the touch. Here's one that genuinely catches people off guard. When a cat is dying, their circulation starts to slow down. Blood gets prioritized for the vital organs, the heart and brain, and the extremities start to get less of it. What this means practically is that your cat's paws, ears, and the tip of their nose might start to feel noticeably cold, even room temperature or below. A healthy cat runs a body temperature of around 100 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 38 to 39 degrees Celsius. When you stroke a dying cat, there's often a specific coldness to them that's different from just being chilly after lying on a hard floor. Their body is losing its ability to regulate its own temperature. If you notice your cat feels cold and clammy, particularly in their extremities, and they're showing other signs from this list, their body may be in the final stages of shutting down. Keep them warm, keep them close, and call your vet. Sign 11. Sudden clinginess or complete emotional withdrawal. This is the sign that tends to hit cat owners the hardest emotionally because it feels so personal. Some cats, as they approach the end of their life, become intensely clingy. They'll want to be near you constantly, on your lap, pressed against your leg, sleeping right next to your face. It's as if they know something is coming and they want comfort and closeness. Other cats do the exact opposite. They withdraw completely, stop seeking affection, and seem almost disconnected from the relationship you've built with them over years. Both responses are completely valid and both are signs of a cat whose internal world is changing dramatically. If your cat that was never particularly cuddly is suddenly glued to your side, or conversely, if your usual usually affectionate cat has gone cold and distant. Pay attention to that shift. Cats may not be able to tell us what's wrong, but they communicate through behavior. And a sudden, dramatic shift in how they relate to you is one of the most honest signals they've got. Sign 12. Final detailed explanation. Seizures, muscle twitching, and the final physical signs. We've saved the most difficult one for last, and I want to be straightforward with you here because you deserve honesty. In the very final stages of a cat's life, whether due to organ failure, cancer, neurological disease, or severe systemic illness, some cats experience seizures or muscle tremors. A seizure might look like sudden, uncontrolled full-body spasms, loss of consciousness, paddling of the legs, drooling, or crying out. It's terrifying to witness. Other cats experience something subtler, small muscle twitches, particularly along the legs or face, almost like little involuntary shivers. These happen because the brain is no longer receiving the oxygen and nutrients it needs to function properly. Now, if your cat has a single seizure and recovers, that still needs immediate vet attention because it's a serious neurological event. But a cat that is having repeated seizures, or that doesn't fully recover between them, is in crisis. And here's the most important thing I can say to you about this sign, and honestly about this entire video: knowing when to let go is one of the hardest and most loving things a pet owner can ever do. Keeping a cat comfortable in their final days, working with your vet on palliative care, or considering humane euthanasia, these are not failures. They are acts of profound love and compassion. Your cat trusted you completely every single day of their life. Being there for them at the end, really being there, is the last and greatest gift you can give them. Conclusion. So there you have it, 12 critical signs that your cat may be reaching the end of their life. And look, I know this has been a heavy one. Nobody wants to think about losing their cat. But knowledge is compassion. Knowing these signs means you can act faster, get your cat the care they need, and make sure their final days, however many they have, are as comfortable and as full of love as possible. If you're currently going through this with your cat, I'm genuinely sorry. It's one of the hardest things. Be kind to yourself and lean on your vet. That's what they're there for. And if your cat is fit and healthy right now, brilliant. Keep an eye out for these signs as they get older. Early awareness really does save lives. If this video helped you, or if it made you look at your cat a little differently today, please give it a like. It genuinely helps more cat owners find this information when they need it most. Share it with anyone you know who has cats, because you honestly never know who might need this right now. And if you want to keep learning the hidden secrets of cat behavior, the stuff they don't tell you in any pet store, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you never miss a thing. We've got a whole lot more cat content coming, and trust me, some of it will blow your mind. Thanks for watching, take care of those cats, and I'll see you in the next one. Paw prints.